were unable to make committal plays, but look, we'll see whether it's represented here in the champ select because they can now pick up some power picks. Vladimir and Zed are going to be taken off the board here for INTZ. They're losing a lot of mid-lane picks, as Hecker and Azir going to be taken away as well. Hecker could potentially be a mid-lane pick. Often in that top lane as Azir going to be removed. So 3 mid-lane bans so far. Yeah, it certainly looks to be that way, Tockers. He still has a LeBlanc available though, so that would be one that I would expect maybe KLG to take a serious look at. The Zed ban is, I guess, a respecting towards Reggie is actually looks like INTZ, they lost a ban and LeBlanc will be the last one away from KLG. So they automatically lock in the Gragas on the side for Revolta. Little bit more late game. We saw him go very mid game yesterday, but it looks like IWCI, he's going to go full out on the mid game and lock in that Rek'Sai. Yeah, he is hovering it for now. Helio does have some options down, and I would actually not be surprised if Helio locked away the Rumble. He's a Rumble player as well. Looking at a Swain, not entirely sure whether that one's going to be coming down, but Yang, he looked brilliant on the Rumble. Why not just pick it away? Yeah, exactly right. It serves a double purposes. You have a knock-up to keep people on top of a Rumble ultimate already, so some good CC. Also does some good mid-game damage. You're committing very much to that composition, but they've sat on Swain for a very long time, so I'm going to say that's almost a serious pickup at this point. Well, I think it most definitely is a serious pickup because Swain, one of my favorite champions to watch, but it is going to be switched away to Thresh here for Bear. He has landed some fantastic death sentences. His Morgana left a little bit to be desired, but his Thresh has been strong. INTZ now thinking about their picks. Draven would be incredibly exciting by Macau, but early days, still 46 seconds to make up their minds and see what Revolta does land on here as Tokka's thinking about a Cho'Gath. And INTZ, they'd be changing it up because, of course, they do now have the Gragas. They have the opportunity to go mid to late game instead of this early game power picking. But we'll see what the decision is going to be once they do decide to lock in these picks because they have been looking at that Draven for quite some time. We'll see whether Revolta does lock that in. Yeah, they certainly have, and they've been sitting on these picks for a very long time. So we'll have to see what exactly they want to run here. Cassidy, a very strong pick in the current meta, although blind picking it with the likes of Orianna available, I don't know much about that decision. Swapping over now to an Ahri, much more mid-game focus, kind of fills the same role as LeBlanc. That's locked in, as well as Sion at the last moment. So all of a sudden, tanky top laner and a pick mid laner coming through for INTZ. Yeah, and a very versatile jungler coming down as well, going to get massively tanky in the late game. And the front line from INTZ already terrifying coming through. And look, KLG now have the opportunity to pick away from that. They've seen both of the solo lanes, which gives them great opportunities. And I liked KLG picking up the support and jungler because it gives them a lot of flexibility at this stage. Yeah, it certainly does. They'll be able to counterpick every single lane now nearly because realistically they can take mid and top lane, leave their AD carry for last, and Thresh doesn't really win or lose very many lanes by himself, is very AD carry reliant. Although, yeah, I actually think that there's not much danger picking your mid and top laner here. They can take an AD if they want, although Kalista, that's a big risk because there's always a potential that some kill lane comes through. So they go with the Graves, they go with the Maokai. Yeah. Ooh, Sivir in the last second. They really want to be able to get this Maokai in amongst it, of course. Giving him a little bit more movement is going to be fantastic. Make sure he can get in range for that twisted advance into the back line and locking down an Ahri. Something that's pretty difficult, makes it a little bit easier. Jockster has the opportunity to pick up the power pick support in the Janna. But early days, and we've seen that INTZ really like to take their time in this pick ban phase. Yeah, they certainly do. So let's not talk about that. We'll talk about the KLG lineup so far. They're waiting on a mid laner, but so far have very good engage coming through. You can speed up the Maokai, you can get IWCI into the team, be able to wreak some havoc. The problem is, who do you currently want to engage on? Because Ahri going to be a very hard target to lock down, can dash away from you. Sion and Gragas, they're big tanky men. If you're engaging onto them, they're probably extremely happy, you would have to think. Oh yeah. However, if they go with the Jinx, I'm going to be very worried for Jinx's lives because there is a very good chance that they just repetitively try and dive Macau as a duo. Well, yeah, that's exactly right. I believe now that that Jinx has been locked in, a whole lot of red is now in the eyes of these divers. Yeah, so they're able to get in there. They've got a very good late game team fighting coming through with some pick coming through from Gragas as well as the Ahri. You saw
spooks from the Chiefs last game, able to use this Gragas to start up teamfights with those flash ultimate engages. And Tockers, we've seen him so dominant on these mid lane assassins. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what they get done here. Mid lane to come through last for Reggie. He's got the counter pick. His Zed's being taken away. His Vladimir's being taken away. Does he run something like a Xerath, although that's extremely risky, into an Ahri?
Well, all of his top picks have been taken away. Like, he plays the Zed, Vladimir, and LeBlanc. They banned away LeBlanc just because Tockers has got a whole lot of work done on that champion as well. He now needs to sort of reach deep into his champion
This
pool.
is great. I love the Cassiopeia pickup. Just try and bully lanes. They've picked nearly every lane winning with the exception of Maokai here, who will go relatively even. Sivir Thresh is going to struggle against Jinx Janna, but if you get one favorable hook, even that lane turns in your favor because of the burst damage that can come through. So just try and crush early game KLG. Like the fact that they're getting behind their mid laner. Throw Reggie an aggressive mid and see exactly what you can get done.
Yeah, and Reggie does like to play aggressively as well, so you may as well put him there.
Yeah, and one fun fact coming through, if people do get Gromp Poison, you can just keep throwing your E out as Cassiopeia. So anytime someone hits Julio Stito late game,
Helio, pick up the smite.
Be very prepared for Reggie to go berserk.
Well, we'll see whether he is able to pick up those resets off the Gromp Poison, because that is a very exciting idea there. Don't even need to hit your skill shots if that comes through.
Yeah, exactly right. Just keep spamming E.
Too easy. Too easy indeed. That being said, I mean, you mentioned the fact that, you know, Zycro and Bear, Sivir and Thresh against Jinx Janna. Jinx, sort of a known counterpick to that Sivir, and I guess Sion and Maokai both do fairly well in that 2v1 situation. We'll see whether KLG are going to opt for a lane swap.
Yeah, they definitely can opt for a lane swap coming through there. The one thing that is to note, though, is that Jinx kind of wins lanes against Sivir when she has an aggressive support that can lay a CC. Zap a very good tool against Sivir because she doesn't have any gap closers to get away. So she's not like a Corki that can Valkyrie over your flame chompers that come out. Something like a Thresh pairs up very well for Sivir for that reason because the lockdown is just so strong. However, what they do is late game, fantastic pill for your hyper carry. You have another BF sword through a shield, all that good stuff. It just means that the early game, a little bit more volatile. So there is a window for Sivir to win. It's not like a shutout lane like Nami, Jinx, another lane. That is a terrifying lane if you're a Sivir because all of a sudden you can't get away from the rockets. You're just getting slowed by the Tide Caller's Blessing. Once again, the layering of CC. So I like Janna Jinx late game. I don't like it as a laning tool.
Yeah, well, Janna in a lane generally not supposed to be winning in almost any of those matchups. We have seen it happen, though, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to head on to the Rift here as INTZ going to be taking on KLG. Brazil against Latin America here. KLG's final match here. And INTZ, their final one as well. Looking to go even with Hard Random at that 4-2. And we'll see whether KLG can put a little bit of a spanner in the works.
Yeah, so we see very aggressive start coming out of INTZ. They've stacked up as 5 after Janna was able to get a ward down at the entrance of their jungle. So they're going for the invade through here. See whether they can get it done. As we see
something
around the corner, KLG trying to go for the mind game.
Yeah, not sure what they're waiting for. Of course, we know that there is absolutely no one in the vicinity. He's going to be Reggie going for just a one-man wander, slithering throughout the jungle there. But KLG finally with a 5-man stack. No vision at all from INTZ, so they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, so what they were hoping is that INTZ would actually invade on the blue side. They don't. They invade on the red side, and all of a sudden, KLG have no idea where anyone is. They don't know what lanes they're approaching. You can see people spamming recall animations. It looks like the lane swap will be secured. Worse yet, Reggie might even face check some members. We'll spot out Sion on that side of the map. And they will also secure the early invade coming through.
Sorry, I know it's very, very serious, but there are some backs being spammed. Gragas is going to start over on the opposing side of the map, though, taking down this red buff. Very aggressive. He's all alone, but just knows exactly where everyone is, or mostly where everyone isn't, as there are so many deep wards coming through from INTZ. So this is going to be a successful steal on the red. Just going to smite that one away. We'll see whether he takes the little camps, as Yang is going to die, but ladies and gentlemen, that was intentional. The puppy's going to suffer the wrath of this dead Sion.
Yeah, so able to get in there, gets the execute, gets an early death, but will be able to pick up a camp for himself. Maokai can do the same, already has done so actually, picked up the Wolves, so we'll be able to go now into top lane. And we're going to have the standard lane swap coming through. We see this a lot with Maokai Sion. I think Sion's a little bit better of a 2v1 laner just because he can put that shield on, max the decimating smash. He shoves out waves so hard. It's impossible to shove that guy off CS unless you get aggressive really early on level 1 and 2. And AD carries aren't used to doing that, to be honest. They prefer to freeze the wave, get it zoning, try and get CS in when you can. If he's just able to pick up experience, he gets to the level 3 mark and he just crushes down minion waves.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. And decimating smash, now that it's getting leveled generally, as just based on the fact that that Roar of the Slayer has been nerfed just a little bit, so not
Mana
as
costs.
fun as a max.
Yeah, exactly right. The mana cost just went up so high, and if you're using it as your primary farming tool, which you have to in a 2v1 lane, it just is so hard to utilize to get all the CS. Decimating Smash, on the other hand, real easy. You just walk up to the minion wave, put your shield on, that's Soul Furnace, do that, and then hit it.
And it's hilarious to watch.
That was beautiful.
That was basically a perfect rendition of exactly how it works, right? Lean back a little bit and then fall over.
Perfect rendition. You're complimenting yourself a little bit too far there, Atlas.
I was being facetious, my friend.
I want some more effort put into a little bit of a Sion cosplay before I give you a perfect for that performance.
Okay. Well, look, let's just not continue. I'll do a lumberjack impersonation sometime later. Of course, my personal favorite skin.
Yeah, it chops down the tree as well. The
exactly. It's so
through.
good because Maokai Sion, such a common lane. Almost as good as Rumble burning down the tree in the top lane as well.
Exactly right. The thematic counter picks. As we take a look, the players actually all really comfortable here. They're just leaning back. No one looks overly worried going through here.
They look like they want to play some League of Legends.
Yeah, they certainly do. Happy to get into the game, which we will be getting to you shortly, guys. Sorry about the pause. But in a team fight situation, you see pretty good late game scaling coming through from INTZ. They've gone pretty much all in on that. They've got the Gragas, the Sion, as well as the Jinx in the late game. They've gone for a little bit more pick for Ahri. As we take another little bit of a look at the standings, you see Bangkok Titans up there on the top. Chiefs currently sitting in third. They have won their head-to-head with INTZ. So if that is how they end up, which they can't because they each have to play another game, so good luck with that one. That's where it would finish. But if Chiefs and INTZ win their outlying games, we have that crazy four-way tie at the top of the brackets. And that will be the teams that go through. So if the favorites, although you'd probably call Bangkok Titans at this point favorites over the Chiefs. So if favorites win and then the Chiefs upset, and realistically, Bangkok Titans are only playing for seeding at this point, so you think that they might not be willing to show everything in their last game.
That's a very good point that we haven't touched on just yet.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot.
Yeah, I'm saying that we haven't spoken about it, Spawn. Not questioning your intelligence.
So that means that will be the locked-in slot for some tiebreakers.
Well, hopefully for any Chiefs fans there, the Bangkok Titans try their very exciting... Look, I don't know what strategy they're going to be running. Maybe Garen Shan bottom lane.
Yeah, exactly right. But then on the other side, if Chiefs, Ints lose and Besiktas are able to pick up a win, all of a sudden you have this crazy three-way tie for the tiebreaker of who gets into the playoffs with two teams. So it's going to be absolutely mental. There's games going everywhere, and that's, I guess, the beautiful thing about the round robin with 7 teams is that standings become so close and confined, especially when you have a day where everyone beat everyone. I mean, Chaos Latin Gamers took a game off hard random, just randomly yesterday. Really does throw everything into the works. That wasn't deliberate.
Yeah, I know, but it was awful, irrespective of whether you meant it or not. But yeah, well, exactly right. Hard random, looking pretty good heading through as far as their standings result is concerned. But Bangkok Titans are looking fantastic, and it's going to be really frightening for the Chiefs moving into their game. But let's get back to this one. INTZ taking on KLG. KLG really wanting to have an effect on how this tournament bracket is going to work. Julius Tito, who was a fantastic Gragas earlier on, he's going to be heading down some vertical jungling, now going to be started off by Bear.
Yeah, so Bear actually prepped that one very early, tanked some shots, but that's going to put Julio Zito in a fantastic area where he'll be able to pick that up without much help coming through, get solo experience. Now Bear recalling, going into the top lane to help out Helior, who needs to be careful because there are a potential 4-member turret dive, and Sion, he has this cool mechanic where you can kill yourself and then still go for the dive.
Yeah. Although it is possibly going to give away first blood if he does do that.
Yeah, it gives away first blood, but what do you get in response? You get a kill, you zone off 2 minion waves, you pick up a turret for yourself. You know, I'm giving up first blood 10 out of 10 times if that is what I get in response.
That's why. All right, wondering why you're always feeding in our solid.
Oh, don't even go there, Atlas.
It's a pretty smooth excuse. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to use that. Why did you die? Oh, no, so that I could deny minion waves, etc., etc. Not too bad.
I didn't know they lane swapped in bronze.
I'm not quite that bad, but you're pretty close. Zycro. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of ridiculous things.
IWCI, this is a triple kill. If we've seen anything, it's the fact that Rek'Sai can go off.
Yeah, he's going to bounce up a couple of members here. Gets exhausted, but he's going down so low. Does flash out of the way. Beautiful double play. Revolta, he's ignited. He's burning down, but not going to die. First blood to the Jinx in amongst it all. Picks up a double as the casual excitement comes down. Now has double buffs. Helios going to die, and it is the horrific start for KLG as Macau has destroyed this early game.
But Jockster take a bow. First with the NATO, knocking up the Rek'Sai, then the perfectly placed exhaust.
We were mentioning the fact that Janna fantastic in lane very early on.
So that was a team fight. So very good team fighting support coming through there. And you see exactly why. The disruption and the exhaust was huge because IWCI all of a sudden couldn't get all that famous damage down that we're used to coming through from the Rek'Sai early on. Didn't get the auto attack reset through there because of the attack speed slow as well. And all of a sudden you have a 3-0-0 Jinx who is ready to take over a game at 5 minutes. And that's not what you're used to saying about a Jinx.
Yeah, well, this is true. But when you've got a BF sword at 5 minutes, things looking pretty damn good. 1,500 gold the lead. And that is actually meaningful here at 5 minutes into the game because that's a large percentage of the gold that has already been accrued.
And, you know, one of the times that Jinx starts outright winning lanes is when she picks up the BF sword.
All right.
And it's normally when about the 9-minute mark that you go back, get the first shop in, pick up your BF sword. When you get that at wow.
Oh my goodness, the flash chompers. Bear's going to die for the 4th one for Macau, who ignores him, lets the red buff take it, and changes his mind, wants to kill Zycro as well. And Macau really knows how to play
up here
if he's
as well.
fed. Yeah, Revolta looking for something. Preseeker's going to find him as well, considering the fact that that passive was there for IWCI, but
he also spotted the ward over the wall, so able to at least get some control back over his side of the map. Zycro going to come back down. Needs to be careful here as another...
This was already an awful lane, though.
Yeah.
Like, an awful matchup.
Yeah, it certainly was. As we said, when you get the BF sword, you normally swap back. You're able to get the good matchup. He got it like 5 minutes early, and from there, it's just going to be bad news as now Tokkers is also coming down.
Yeah, he's flashed over. Bear's still level 1. This looks awful. Both summoner spells now blown. Zycro with a nice spell shield, but that is not going to be enough. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, Yang picks up a kill solo, and Revolta's taking down the dragon. This is probably one of the most accelerated games that I have ever seen.
Yeah, they're also going to grab probably a turret for themselves because they have a Jinx with minigun and BF sword and Janus shield like ripping through that turret in the bottom lane. So that's nearly going to go down at the 7-minute mark in a 2v2 lane now.
Good news, though. Reggie's got a CS advantage.
Yeah, Reggie got a CS advantage. IWCI just killed Yang in the top lane,
True.
so able to pick up something in response. But KLG, they're already 3,400 gold behind, and INTZ just look dominating.
INTZ look like they've got something to prove. Again, having some pretty decent breakfast. I mean, we said this about them yesterday, that things must have gone right for them in the morning.
It's the sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep is good.
Well, I can tell you a thing or two about that spawn as Macau, he's able to just completely zone away. Picks up the bottom lane outer turret. IWCI looking for Tokkers, but not going to find it. Did still have the flash available. Tremor Sense just going to let them know exactly where the Ahri is. Also their eyes, as we are going to have first evolution to come down from Reggie in this lane. So a little bit of health back to be gained from that Twin Fang.
Yeah, so able to sustain a little bit better in lane as we see Revolta peeking his head in as well. Ultimate not yet available for Tokkers. They just want to sweep out that pink ward that Reggie placed down, waste some of the gold on the map, and we'll be able to do that. Reggie doing the smart thing, cheating towards the top side of the map now that he knows where Revolta is.
Yeah, and Macau actually wanting to rotate through.
Yeah, because he wants to pick up every turret now on the map. He's already got boots too and a pickaxe versus just a pickaxe, AD carry versus AD carry. It's a ring and a ruby crystal coming through for Helios, so he has absolutely no chance of standing toe-to-toe as IWCI goes in.
Yeah, he's looking for Jocks to hit Eye of the Storm. Not going to be able to do too much as the red buff able to definitely get rid of this Janna from the jungle side of KLG. But Macau, this is just so scary for KLG.
Yeah, it certainly is, but they weren't able to... Oh, wow.
Oh, the Flame Chopper's here as well. Helio just sort of very worried about what to do. Super Mega Death Rocket locks down the kill. And this is supposed to be the tank in the top lane, but how are you supposed to be at 9 minutes into the game? How can you weather the storm of BF Sword, Pickaxe, Boots too?
Yeah, exactly right. And they've transferred Siren into the bottom lane. He's died once, but he's also picked up a kill for himself. Already has some armor coming through there with a little bit more of a cost-efficient build over the Catalyst of the Protector, which is, of course, great sustain when it's built up.
And it's good when you're sitting in lane and you need to sort of heal off some harass, but
yeah,
Helios just going to get outright killed over and over again by Macau.
Yeah, so there's no way they can stop this. And Macau, he's rotated, taken the second turret now in the top lane. Before 10 minutes into the game, it's like a 7,000 gold advantage coming over to INTZ, and they might be... IWCI going so aggressive. Why aren't they fighting?
Yeah, they're looking for something. On the hunt has been popped. Reggie going to pick up the first kill, the second kill, sorry, for KLG. Jockster is falling low. Yang right in amongst it. Macau getting the rockets off, though. Doesn't pick up the first kill just yet. Gets excited, but there's the ultimate decimating smash. Doesn't quite find it here as Reggie coming through. The exhaust goes down, flashes out of the way, but Tokas wants to pick up the kill. Doesn't get there. Zycro, can he find it? No. Legendary is Macau at 10 minutes into the game. And that's pretty ridiculous for Jinx.
Yeah, it certainly is, and he fires
Super
off the
Mega
rocket
Death
to the
Rocket from
base.
downtown. Will he get it? No, it's not going to be able to get anything.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, they were on the fountain.
Yeah, no, but Reggie, he was really low before, so he was just trying to go for it.
There was a time when he was low.
But Infinity Edge and Boots 2 finished up at 10 minutes 41 Atlas. That is absolutely mammoth coming through from Macau. We saw him nearly fall down because a very good team fight actually coming through from Reggie. He was able to get a 3-man Petrifying Gaze and get the first kill in that fight with some very good Twin Fangs coming through there. But in the end, it just wasn't enough. And you feel that with this large of a lead right now, INTZ can rotate through and continue to wreck structures.
Yeah, and you can see Macau definitely building to his play style here as well. He's picked up a couple of gloves. He really wants to be punching the members of KLG. You saw him right underneath that turret on the top side of the map, wants to be taking down these structures. And I really like that as far as cost-effective, extra-critical strike is concerned, because he could have picked up the Avarice Blade, but he doesn't care about money. He wants effective stats because he's winning the game already.
Yeah, exactly right. And he's able to use that gold to go for fights right now as Revolta. He has the zone, forces people away from the turret. Macau's going in again.
Yeah, he's got excited. Look at that first attack as Revolta throws out the ult. Nice flash from Bear is going to get him to safety as he's forced to go back now. IWCI heading through the jungle, but man, KLG most definitely on the ropes. And this is a little bit early to be talking about that because it's a 9,000 gold lead at 12 minutes into the game.
Yeah, exactly right. They take another outer turret with a smooth transition into the bottom lane. Warning shot coming through from Tokas, and whoa!
What? That's insane. Half the health.
That was wide auto attack with the rocket. That was pretty impressive.
No, that was filthy. Well, that should be illegal. IWCI is going to get the knock up here onto Yang, who's got a frozen heart. IWCI, you're not going to do anything. Look at the damage from that decimating smash. Accurately named here as this Rek'Sai is in a whole lot of trouble. Another one comes down. Yang is going to get collapsed on by 3 extra members of KLG. He's going to die. Bear picks up the kill. IWCI survives. But when you need 4 people to get rid of... Oh, another rocket. We're looking for it. Picks up the Rek'Sai. He saw it go past his AD carry. IWCI, come on, man.
What do you want him to do? Fly somewhere? He doesn't have flash. It moves real quick.
What?
He hasn't even got boots.
Halfway up the mid lane. Petrifying Gaze, though, in the mid lane, ladies and gentlemen. The shutdown on the Jinx comes through. They trade AD carries. Death Sentence not going to find the mark as Monsoon doing a whole lot of healing. Reggie, consistent damage available now, gets exhausted yet again. Jockster though, right in amongst it. Reggie gets rocketed back into his team with that explosive cast. Juliocito trying to pick up Toka's nice double knock-up, but this Ari also pretty fed. Brilliant charm. The double kill now for Toka's the mid laner, as he's looking for a little bit of the credit for this victory. Bear, yeah, I don't know whether you're going to be able to contend with this hillbilly Gragas. He's got barrels for days. He wanders away from you because cool guys don't look at explosions. And the Thresh once again going to fall down.
Yeah, so the thing is, right, that right now they didn't have that much of an impressive scoreline before they started that fight with Macau falling down. But they just had so much standing gold over the whole map with all 6 outers coming through that even Reggie, who's farmed pretty well, is 2-1-1, just can't fight them because there is so much standing gold that has gone across.
That's
onto
a
the
Luden's
inside
Echo Tokas.
Yeah, he's pretty ridiculous at the moment. Probably
he's a
has,
bit of a big deal.
He has a lot of money to actually spend because when you compare Luden's Echo to
Archangel stuff.
Yeah, Archangel stuff coming through there, relatively similar gold values, and that's already been finished up by Reggie. You think 4-0-4 with 6
he's got another
down?
needlessly large rod.
So he had another 1,600 gold.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
That's just fun.
It certainly is. Juliocito's going to find Yang, but Yang doesn't care at all. He does pop the ultimate, though, so...
Can he get around the corner? Oh, he braked.
Doesn't quite get there. Macau on his own here in the jungle. Does need to be careful. Takes away some popcorn chickens, but that is all he's going to get. And INTZ with a gigantic lead. Almost 13,000 at this stage. Now looking to try and find their way into the base. There's the aggressive play from KLG. Chompers goes through. Zycro actually getting... Oh my gosh. The Rocket of Destiny not going to get a crit, but the Super Mega Death Rocket's blocked by Bear. Toka's in the meantime going to take down Juliocito. Jockster with the Flash Nado as Bear's going to get rocketed down. Toka's picking himself up another one. 6-0-4 for the Ari, and the mid laner now getting a piece of the pie as INTZ with 2 dead looking to try and find an objective they can take. At 15 minutes, it's hard to take down an inhibitor turret.
Yeah, it certainly is. Recall time is not so
friendly.
Recall, yeah. Death time, as I'm talking about, not so long at the moment. And they're trying to push in it. Wow.
Oh, what? Reggie flashes over his own ultimate, outplaying himself just a little bit, and is going to die for it. As Zycro throws out a boomerang, just thinking it would be really cool if we had a snake.
So we tried to animation cancel that and get the full length on it as Tokas gets locked up.
Yeah, nice boomerang to come over as well, as Zycro does use a decent spell shield, but gets knocked back into the INTZ lineup onto a Lantern. Bear is pretty good at the Thresh. Don't know whether it's going to save them this game, as the base has been broken. INTZ are going to be able to do a lot of damage to this Nexus turret. KLG going for the desperation play. Juliocito goes down low, but Maokai, he's going to die. Bear gets taken down as well. Tokas, he's the legendary one now. Jinx, of course, the early game carry for our Brazilian lineup, has fallen off a little bit, and it's Ari's turn.
Yeah, able to get in there. They've also got a minion wave crashing into that mid lane turret. They'll be able to take down a second inhibitor at 16 minutes. And
speaking of 16, it's a 16,000 gold lead.
Yeah, that is absolutely mammoth Atlas. Baron hasn't even respawned, but how do you deal with 2 waves of super creeps at 17 minutes into the game? You don't have enough AD or AP to do it.
Baron isn't even going to get the memo for this game, I don't think. He's just, he gets a day off.
Well, when you arrive 20 minutes late to a party consistently, you're going to miss some of them.
There's no need to bring that one back up. I'm pretty sure we've suffered enough. It was 20 seconds. Not used to things being 20 seconds old. Okay? At least I didn't say years. Juliocito not even going to be able to find a raptor camp on this map, as KLG, they're scrounging for anything. Somehow INTZ have managed to pick up a couple of dragons in amongst all of this action.
I think they did it by killing it. I'll have to confirm on the replay, but
look,
fairly certain that's
you don't want to jump
out.
to conclusions, Spawn. Reggie going to lock down some of these.
The collapse potentially coming through. There's 5 members in the top lane covering Reggie. 4 members actually, but all of a sudden, INTZ, they're like, we're not falling for that one. We'll just kill your base.
No. KLG, they've noted the fact that, yes, the top side of the map, things are looking okay. We call this the ostrich treatment, when you just ignore the obvious problems occurring on the map. There are super creeps in 2 of their lanes. Top lane's looking good. Yang, though, he's going to engage. There's a decimating smash. Zycro gets locked down, but Helior, he just explodes. Super Mega Death Rocket. That's an execute, not used to do damage at full health, but man, it still looks good as INTZ, they're going to take down the final remaining Nexus turret, and it's a victory at minus what the heck? It's not even 20 minutes into the game is what I was trying to explain. I'm getting a little bit too excited because our Brazilian lineup are looking terrifying.
Yeah, so INTZ secure themselves into the playoffs with that win. 4-2 they finish out, and they absolutely crush through Kaos Latin gamers.
My
from
goodness.
Latin America to be able to do that one. You see Hugs all around. They're relieved now to be able to get in there.